Hello, patrons. Had a member request to do something spooky. Tell us scary. Actually, name is Ice. I forget what the digits are or whatever like that. But Ice, this is for you. Asked me if I had any scary stories way back, or anything like that. There was the time I killed that baby. I mean, that was unfortunate and fucked up. And then it came back to life, and it killed the family that I was living with, and I had to go to another foster family. No, okay, that never happened. You don't know me. Anyway, no. The one thing I could think of, and again, forgive me if I've told this before. I don't know if I have. There was a Halloween story that was just okay. First of all, what you need to know about me when I was growing up is I was like this now. I was obnoxious and foul-mouthed and just thought I knew everything. I guess we all are to a certain extent. But, and I had a bunch of ne'er-do-well little friends who just, just weird garbage people, smoke cigarettes, throw things at people. That was our fun. It was the 80s and 90s. What do you want from me? But, one day we decided to go to the local store where we shoplifted, as one always does. We were going to shop, but not pay for it. So, and let me say something about this. You always have the one friend that you went with who overdid it, and you're like, listen, fucker, me and this guy are just taking gum or something like that, so we're going to walk out these fucking doors. Your ass is going to wait about a minute and then come behind us, because those alarms are going to go off, because you've got a headset, you've got tampons, I don't even know why you have that, you've got macaroni and cheese and shit like that, you look like you're 9 months pregnant. We always had one of those with us, and so it was Halloween time, and I must have been about 13, something like that. And we went to the local. It was called an Osco. It's like a CVS type of deal or something like that. And we'd always go over there and of course steal. And so we went over there. I don't know if we had the intent to steal that day, but once we saw there was Halloween stuff there, we're like, oh sweet, it was October. I love Halloween. I love October. It's my favorite month of the year. Scary movies. I love it almost as much as I love partial birth abortions, watching them. It's something that you just, it's an acquired taste. So we're walking and we go over to the store and sluts, shut up. Fucking Gen Z fucking whores over here. Anyway, so we go to the store and we're walking into this. I'm going to shoot them in about 5 seconds. We're walking into the store and I see the Halloween aisle. I don't remember what my friends stole. I know they stole stuff too. But I think they stole candy and shit. And my first thing I went to was two things. There was a pack of fake blood and there was a knife. It's one of those knives that goes into the handle, a really cheap, prop knife or whatever like that. And so I stuck it under, my waistband. And I think I got the fake blood too. And I was a happy guy. My friends stole whatever they were going to steal. Now keep in mind, there's me. There's a guy who's he's half... He looked like Keanu Reeves. He was half Japanese, half white. He was about 12. The other guy was an African-American guy who was he was about 12. I was probably the oldest, 13 or 14. So, now keep that in mind, the races here, because it probably matters. So, we're walking down the street. I remember what I was wearing. I was wearing a white t-shirt and just jeans. And I got a hilarious idea. So we're walking, we got out with whatever we stole, and we're fine. I pull it out, I'm looking at the fake knife and everything like that. And I'm seeing people, it was a really nice day, they're waiting for buses. And we had to go on an actual pretty busy street onto the way back to our neighborhood. So I told my friend, I have a fun idea. Which no one should ever listen to me when I say that. I was like, I said, I got an idea. And I told the kid's name was Sheldon. I don't think he would care, the black kid. I was like, walk up ahead of us. We're going to pretend we're going to walk up on you and be like, hey, what are you doing in our hood, man? You just start swearing at us and I'll start to stab you. And just act like you're being stabbed, and I'll put some fake blood on you and stuff like that, and people will freak out. And they did. And it wasn't such a good idea. I remember the first stop. We did this so many times. So we're walking and I'm like, go ahead, do it. My friend I'm like, you'll be my other gang partner or whatever. And he's like, okay, fine. So we go and we saw a bus stop, but there's a bunch of people waiting. There's a couple ladies and a guy, and we're walking up, and I said, walk ahead. So the Sheldon, black kid, walked ahead of us. We're walking behind him, and we're getting towards the bus stop. I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing in our hood, motherfucker? What are you fucking doing? He's like, man, fuck you. You don't know me. My other friend's like, yeah, man, well, you better get out of our fucking neighborhood. He's like, man, I'm going to do shit. You fuck you, motherfucker. Stuff like that. I'm like, oh, yeah? And I pulled this knife out. I'm like, oh, yeah. And I run up to him. I had the tube of blood in the other hand, and I just started He's like, he was dying so badly though that they should have known this was a joke. He's like, he's walking away as I'm stabbing him. I'm just like, fucker, I'll fucking kill you and shit like that. And I'm just kind of putting a little fake blood on him. He's like, he's like smearing it on himself. I'll never forget, one woman jumped off the curb. She starts screaming. She jumped off the curb away from the bus. I could have got her hit by a car. And the other guy's just standing there like, what the fuck? So they're watching us walk away. I do have something to say. They should have known it was kind of fucked up in a joke, but whatever. I'll tell you in a second. So then we're all like, we get far enough away from them where they're still standing in horror and shit like that. This is before cell phones and everything. So you couldn't just like call the police right there and then. So we're walking and I'm like, there's another group of people at this other bus stop. Let's do it again. Because I'm brilliant. So he's already got fake blood in him. At this point, I think I had spilled some or somewhere, opened it haphazardly, the fake blood. I had a white t-shirt covered in fake blood at this point. Like, I fucking fucked it up. It was on my hands. And I'm walking like there's not a problem. My other friend's just in there. He didn't have any blood in him, but he's, pretending to be the other gang guy. So we go to the next bus. See, next bus stop coming up. I'm like, okay, walk up again. Walk far away from us again. So he walks, but he's already bloody. So they should have, and they were already kind of like looking at him like, what the fuck? And I'm like, hey man, what are you doing in our neighborhood? This is Aria. He's like, man, fuck you. Yeah, tell me what to do. I'm like, oh yeah, you fucking better get it. We'll kill you. My friend's like, yeah, let's kill him, man. Like, we're talking like fucking, like, hey, jive turkey, what it is. You know what I mean? Like fucking bad shit from the 70s. We didn't know what the fuck we were saying. So we run up and we start, I'm like, that's it. I take my fake knife out and I remember the people there again start freezing. There was a couple cars driving by and they're doing this number, like almost getting in accidents looking. And I think it's hilarious. So I walk up and I start stabbing him. He's like, oh no, don't stab me. It was the worst acting on the planet. I remember it was like the other side was like a lawn with kind of a hill and he kind of stumbles up the hill. He's like, oh no, help. And I'm like, shut up and fucking die. Stabbing him over and over with this fake knife that's going into the handle. So we repeat the scenario several times. I'm telling you, cars were screeching. People were just like in shock and horror. Here's how you should have known it was a joke though. Why would our stabbing victim still be walking with us? Like, if you're watching us, if I was watching and I say I saw this right here, right? And then I'm looking down the street and I see a motherfucker stabbing a motherfucker, and then all of a sudden, say they get real far down, they're all kind of just walking together bloody, I'd be like, all right, that's weird, but obviously nobody's in danger. Something weird's going on there. Maybe they're into a kink. I have no idea what's going on, but fuck it. I would be like, I don't care. That's not how it happened. Okay, so we get to a parking lot that we had to cut through to get back to my house. Our neighborhood. We all live like right next door to each other or whatever. And so we're walking, and at this point we had been like, yeah, it was funny. That was really hilarious. All these people were so scared. Did you see them? He's covered in blood. I am covered in fake blood. And I'm thinking, I'll rush it out with a hose or something like that. My other friend, he might have had someone who I don't remember. We're all walking together, and how stupid I am. I remember seeing a police car sail by way down the other side of the street, kind of like a corner, and thinking to my dumb self, I wonder what's going on. We get to this point past the parking lot. A squad car pulls up. Might have even been two. I think it was actually. A woman cop and a guy cop get out. If I was black and today, I probably would have been shot. They get out, guns drawn. They're like, drop the knife. Drop the knife. Put your hands in the air. I'm like, holy shit. I put my hands in the air. The lesbian cop. Any woman, she's built and butch. She thinks she's a guy. She was grabbing her balls every 5 seconds. So she pointed the gun at me. What saved my ass and my friends, I believe, because we could have easily been shot. We're just like this. When I did this, she dropped the knife. I dropped the fake knife. The cheap piece of Chinese shit hit the ground. I remember it was a black handle. And when it hit the ground, the handle broke open and there was a spring. And you could see it was a fucking fake knife. I remember they're kind of looking for a second. Looking at us. Looking at us. And the guy like walks up to it and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake. He sees it's a fake one. And she's like, all of a sudden the woman cop's the one who's got to give us a lecture. I think he actually thought it was funny, the guy did. But she's sitting there and she's just like, how old are you? We're like 13. You should know better. Really? Have you ever met a 13-year-old boy before? No. We don't know better about anything. What are you fucking talking about? We just learned to masturbate about a year ago or two. What the fuck? No, we're not like 25 and doing this. That would be weird. Although it was weird. That was my psychotic idea of a fun Halloween joke. And to end the story, which tickles me to this day, so they're yelling at us, they're ripping it. Where do you live? I'm gonna live right down there. Did you ever do this again? You could have got killed. And people, I'll never forget, she said, do you know how many phone calls, how many 911 calls we got that somebody was being murdered? Because I guess people were actually like going to pay phones and like saying, oh my God, this guy's killing this black kid, but they're still walking together when really far away. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's something satanic. So I was like, oh, I'm sorry. We're all sorry. They actually did let us go. I'll never forget, we're walking away, and the first woman I told you who had jumped off at the bus stop started shrieking. The first time we'd done it, our little skit, walking home. She sees us walking away, the cops walking the other way, and I remember it was like, that's them, he killed him. No, don't let them go. He killed him. And at this point, I'm like, bitch, like, why would he still be alive and with me? We stabbed him about 100 times. Like, okay, maybe I wasn't thinking everything through, but yeah. So that was my fun Halloween joke. And it did not go over well. And people were not amused. And not the first time the police were called on me. And it wouldn't be the last. But yeah. I have one more. It's not Halloween exactly, but it happened around that time of year. And if you want to hear it, I'll tell you. Let me know. It's almost got my mom arrested for murder that I threatened on somebody else. So yeah, fun times with me. I wish I was making this up. Do you not? I really was a horrible person. All right. Love you guys. Again, anything you want me to talk about, link it below. You want me to watch a video, anything. Let me know the subject. And lesbian love all you.